What motor vehicles may enter an environment zone that has this sign? Motor vehicles that meet the requirements for a green particulate emissions sticker, even if no such sticker is attached. Motorcycles. Motor vehicles with a green particulate emissions sticker. Where are you allowed to park a trailer with a permissible total mass exceeding 2 t in built-up areas regularly on Sundays and public holidays and between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m.? In special areas reserved for recreation purposes, on sufficiently wide roads. In industrial areas. In wholly residential areas, on specially designated parking spaces. Why should you not apply the clutch when driving on a long, steep downhill slope? Because this causes unnecessary wear of the brakes. Because in this case the brake servo unit will no longer function. Because the braking action of the engine will have no effect. You are driving a combination vehicle. This consists of a motor vehicle with up to 3.5 t maximum authorized mass and a trailer, without a 100 km/h approval. What is the maximum speed you can travel on the motorway? What are the advantages of an anti-slip device? Reduced danger of sliding sideways when setting off on a slippery roadway. No wheel spin when setting off. No locking of the wheels when braking. You are in your car, towing a trailer which has no brakes and you approach a long steep, downhill slope. What is correct? Reduce speed, if necessary, engage low gear in time, be ready to brake. Relieve the car brakes by disengaging the clutch at frequent intervals. Make allowance for the pushing effect of the trailer. The caravan. Can cut the corner. Can jut out. What do you do when you see this traffic sign? Drive as far as possible over on the right-hand side. Reduce your speed. Accelerate strongly immediately after the right bend. How can you achieve sufficient visibility through the windscreen? When the windscreen is steamed up, switch the ventilator off and keep the windows closed. Switch on the windscreen wipers from time to time when it is foggy. When there is slush, switch on the windscreen wipers already before slush is thrown onto your windscreen by other vehicles. What are the advantages of an automatic anti-locking device? Bends can be taken considerably faster. The wheels do not lock when braking. Steering control is retained even when braking heavily. Control is retained even when braking heavily. What should you note when driving a car after coupling a trailer caravan to it? The trailer caravan means that the acceleration capacity decreases. The overtaking distance is extended. When taking a left or right turn, the necessary cornering radius is reduced. What does a rear-wheel drive car tend to do if you accelerate too much on a bend? The rear end tends to turn out to the side. The front end tends to turn out to the side. The car tends to understeer. What is the maximum speed you are allowed to drive a car with trailer on roads outside of built-up areas? What can result in your motor vehicle skidding while driving round a bend? Gently accelerating at the exit of the bend. Heavy oversteer. Driving too fast. You want to park your single-axle trailer overrun brakes, 1,000 kilograms permissible total mass, on a slope. What must you do? Engage the reverse lock. Pull the parking brake. Place wheel chocks under the wheels. Where do you have to place the emissions sticker for identifying low emission vehicles? Clearly visible on the inside of the rear window. Clearly visible on the inside of the windscreen. Clearly visible on the outside of the windscreen. What are the advantages of an automatic anti-locking device ABS? It is possible to brake heavily and avoid an obstacle at the same time. The danger of tipping over is reduced when braking on bends. On setting off, wheel spin is prevented. What must be remembered with regard to vehicles with canvas covers? Unloaded trailers with high canvas cover superstructure are particularly sensitive to side wind. When vehicles have canvas covers, a load must not be specially secured. The canvas covers must not obstruct the driver's rear view through the outside mirrors. What should be observed when positioning the head rests in your car? The top of the head should be level with the upper edge of the headrest. The spacing between the rear of the head and the headrests should be as small as possible. The upper edge of the headrest should conjoin with the upper neck vertebra. What must you remember when loading a trailer? Must not project more than 1 meter beyond the rear reflectors, unless specially marked. Must be securely packed. Must not project more than 1 meter beyond the front of the towing vehicle. You are to drive a motor vehicle with which you are unfamiliar. Why do you have to be particularly careful to begin with? It is possible that I do not know enough about the special aspects of its maneuverability, of its braking characteristics, of the arrangement and the function of the controls. You are in your car towing a trailer on a road with oncoming traffic and want to turn left. What must you particularly remember when you set off again? Warn oncoming traffic by flashing your lights. Consider the reduced acceleration capacity. Think about the length of your car and trailer combination. You are driving a car with a fully loaded trailer equipped with overrun braking. What special aspects should be noted here? Longer downhill drives can cause the trailer brakes to overheat. The overrun brake system is ineffective on a vehicle combination in an uphill stationary position. The trailer's parking brake must be activated before separating the vehicle combination. You are driving a motor vehicle fitted with anti-lock braking system ABS. How do you achieve the shortest possible braking distance? I apply the brakes multiple times at quick intervals and with maximum force. Carefully and then increasingly harder. Suddenly and with maximum force. What is the main function of the headrest in a car? The headrest replaces the seat belt in the rear seats, enhances safety for the occupants, improves the seating position. You want to pull a trailer. When do additional rear view mirrors have to attach to your motor vehicle? If it is not possible to observe all relevant road traffic situations without additional rear view mirrors. If you are pulling a caravan or a trailer used in agriculture and forestry. If the load platform of the trailer exceeds a width of 1.5 meters and a height of 1 meter. Which dangerous defects can have occurred on a trailer with overrun brakes which has been parked for some time? Cable connections can be defective. Tire pressure may have increased greatly due to exposure to the sun. The brakes may not work because of rust. What can result if you accelerate too hard when driving a front-wheel drive car through a road bend? The front of the car can swerve. The rear of the car can swerve. Steerability can be reduced. You are driving on a road outside a built-up area with 3 lanes marked in each direction. Individual slower vehicles are traveling well spaced out in the right-hand lane. Which lane may you use continuously? The left-hand lane. The middle lane. You want to couple a trailer to your car. Where will you find details about the maximum permissible vertical loading of your car? In the Registration Certificate Part 2. Registration Certificate Part 1. Operating Manual. What is the correct response if, when reversing a combination vehicle, the view to the rear is impeded? If the line of sight is broken to the person directing, the vehicle must be stopped. A person directing is not needed when on a factory premises. A person directing is only required when driving into a priority road. You are in your car towing a fully loaded trailer which has no brakes. What is correct? Stopping distance reduces. Braking distance increases. Reaction distance increases. You want to tow a single axle caravan trailer behind your car. What must you check? If additional rear view mirrors must be mounted because of the width of the trailer. If the trailer is licensed to transport passengers. If the permissible trailer load or the permissible coupling of the car are exceeded. You want to set off in an automatic car hydraulic converter. What must you know? The engine revolutions must be raised considerably, so that the engine does not stall. The selector lever must only be moved when the engine has stopped. When selecting a gear, the car must, as a rule, be held by the service brakes. You want to couple up a trailer with ball coupling. What is correct? The electrics must be connected. The jack wheel must be set so that it can also run when driving. The claw of the coupling must fit securely around the ball. The locking device must is snowed under. What do you have to do before you drive off? Remove ice and snow from the windows and mirrors. Remove ice and snow from the lighting systems including during daytime. Allow the engine to warm up. What must you do when you see this traffic sign? Indicate left before the bend. Reduce speed before the bend. Drive as far as possible over on the right-hand side. You want to drive a vehicle with a trailer equipped with overrun braking. What do you have to check before beginning the journey? I check that the connecting device is locked, that the breakaway cable is attached, that the lighting system is working. You hold a Class B driving license. What trailer are you allowed to tow? A trailer with a maximum authorized mass of 3,500 kilograms. Up to 750 kilograms. What number of trailers may be towed behind a car? What must you do after coupling up a single axle trailer with overrun brakes? Check that the brakes are working. Attach the breakaway cable to the coupling of the motor vehicle. Raise the jack wheel, if fitted, to the highest setting. You are driving a motor vehicle with a manual gearbox. What is the correct thing to do when you see this traffic sign? I drive down this descent carefully. I always change up to a higher gear. I change down to a lower gear if necessary. You are driving within a built-up area during darkness. Oncoming drivers are flashing their headlights as a warning to you. What might this mean in this situation? I should turn on my main beam lights. My vehicle is dazzling oncoming vehicles. I have forgotten to switch on my dipped headlights. What motor vehicles engaged in the commercial or paid transport of goods are prohibited from driving on Sundays and public holidays? Trucks towing a trailer. Trucks with a gross vehicle weight rating in excess of 7.5 t. Cars towing a trailer. What must you remember when you see this traffic sign? Maximum permissible speed 50 km per hour. Track vehicles have priority. Use snow chains. You want to tow a brake-equipped trailer. Where can you find details or guidelines on the permissible towable mass of your car? In the registration certificate Part 1 of my trailer. In the registration certificate Part 1 of my car. In the insurance certificate. A single-axle trailer has an actual gross weight of 600 kilograms. What is the minimum possible vertical load? 90 kilograms equals 15%. 24 kilograms equals 4%. 60 kilograms equals 10%. When does the braking action of a trailer with overrun brakes start? When the trailer runs up to the truck. Before the braking action of the truck starts, so that the truck and trailer remain extended. When the brake pedal in the truck is activated. All agricultural and forestry tractors. All motor vehicles with a catalytic converter. All 2- and 3-wheeled motor vehicles. What must you check on a car with a caravan trailer before setting out on a journey? Whether the view through the rear view mirrors is adequate. Whether the passengers in the caravan trailer have put on their safety belts. Whether the lights of the trailer are working. How do you drive down a descending gradient safely? I take my foot off the accelerator completely and drive in neutral. Select a gear in which I am not required to brake a great deal. Switch the ignition off. The permissible total mass. Axle load. What cars that are driven within designated environmental zones must display a particulate matter sticker? Cars with electric motors, diesel engines, petrol engines. What changes when a caravan trailer is towed? The braking distance is reduced considerably. The distance for overtaking increases considerably. Hasty movements of the steering wheel increase the danger of skidding. The distance for You are driving in the wet in a car with trailer on a narrow rural road and are approaching a clearly visible, but tight left-hand bend. What should you do? I only brake once I have reached the apex of the bend. I remain in the center of the lane and only accelerate again, once I am back on the straight. I reduce my speed before the bend. What do you have to expect after these traffic signs? The beginning of a downhill slope 800 m ahead. A downhill slope 800 m in length. An uphill slope 800 m in length. You suddenly have to brake when cornering on a wet carriageway. What special aspects exist with a vehicle equipped with an anti-lock braking system ABS? The vehicle will always remain stable. It is not possible for the vehicle to skid out of the bend. The steering capability is retained for longer. What vehicles are generally exempt from the ban on road traffic in environmental zones? All motor vehicles belonging to the environmental zone inhabitants. Agricultural and forestry tractors. Ambulances on duty. The front passenger seat belt is defective. What must you do? I have to adjust the seat belt height adjuster. I have to arrange for the seat belt to be replaced. I may not use the seat any longer. You are driving with a trailer on a road with potholes. Your combination vehicle begins to swing up. What must you do now? I have to accelerate to keep the combination vehicle in a straight line. Counter-steer quickly to prevent skidding. Reduce my speed to avoid skidding. What is the effect of an automatic anti-locking device ABS? Aquaplaning is prevented. Steering control is largely retained when braking. The vehicle is braked in the best possible way also on wet roadways. Your vehicle is snowed under. What do you have to do before you drive off? Remove ice and snow from the mirrors. Remove ice and snow from the windows. Remove ice and snow from the roof of the vehicle. You want to hitch a trailer with a maximum authorized mass over 750 kilograms to your car. What must you ensure in this situation? The breakaway cable is properly fitted. That the handle of the ball coupling must be visually and mechanically checked. Following coupling, that the proper functioning of the trailer's lighting system is checked. You are driving a motor vehicle with a manual gearbox. What must you consider when you see this road sign? The braking response will be better if no gear is engaged. Applying the brakes for a longer time will diminish the braking response. The braking distance is longer. What must you remember when parking a trailer without a truck? May be parked for an unlimited period of time on adequate hard shoulders. May be parked for more than 2 weeks on specially designated parking spaces. May not be parked for more than 2 weeks on public roads. What should be noted when using a seatbelt? A damaged seatbelt should be replaced. Once you have put it on, the seatbelt should be pulled tight. The seatbelt should not be twisted. You want to pull a trailer. What must you be aware of? The maximum permitted towable weight of the towing vehicle, load of the trailer, vertical load of the hitch. A single-axle caravan with overrun brake is parked on a downhill slope. How do you have to secure it to prevent it from rolling away? Put wheel chocks in front of the wheels. Put one wheel chock in front and one behind the same wheel. Apply the parking brake.
This is the end of the playlist. If you missed the previous questions, check in my playlist and my channel. Thank you.